It's August 25th and I'm standing in Red Rock Lake. What I'm going to do is show you our campsite. It's quite a big one. We have 4 canoes on this trip and 9 people. This is a 3-person Kevlar canoe, and Mark and Pat and I just went on a long day tour and saw Canada. So here is one of the landings where we come in with our canoes. These rocks are great for loading, unloading. 6 of us are out fishing right now. So you can see part of the campsite. I'm going to show you all the crucial parts. Up here we have our drying rack. So after dinner we have 2 buckets. We have a bucket of hot water with a couple drops of biodegradable soap. Here's our clothesline, one of them. And then we have another bucket of rinse water. And so we have sometimes 3 people working on that one to scrub a washer, and then 1 person that is a runner to put the dishes in that bag, and then another person to help collect dishes. So here's another essential part of a good campsite is a tarp. The tarp is set up for rain, which we had rain yesterday, and so the tarp is a nice place to gather and cook, to put all of our various equipment that is now covered with this second tarp. Here's an example of cooking items. Sometimes we do cook on the grate above the fireplace, which I'll show you, but here is a jet boil, a Coleman 2-burner stove, and there under the soap are the 2 bins we use to wash the fuel. Looks like there's some night crawlers there for a snack. And one nice thing on this trip is we have a food cabinet. The food cabinet is pretty much bear proof, so we strap that up at night and make it secure, which means less things to try to put into the trees. Over here is one of the 5 tents, a nice big marmot here. This is our tent city area. Fishing stuff over there stashed away. Here's another tent, and there's a single tent over there, which is what Gretchen is using. Alright, so now you've seen one of 2 tent site areas. Here's another crucial part of a good campsite is the water station. Mark, and there's Mark, has donated his his water system, the platypus. So the dirty water, or the water we retrieve from the lake, is in there and going through this filter and then into the area where we can gather up water for drinking, for boiling, for water, for coffee, etc., etc. So we have a multi-gallon container, and I think this is I don't know how many gallons that is. So this is the water that Pat and I just retrieved from the lake, and it's just being waiting here to go through the filter system. And on our luxury tours we have, in this case, a cooler for ice for the infamous cocktail hour. Alright, so now you've seen one of the 2 canoe landing areas, you've seen one of the 2 tent areas, looked at the kitchen and the water station. Every campsite in the Boundary Waters has 3 attributes. One is a grate, one is a latrine, and the third are campsites, so at least 2 areas for camps, for tents to be set up. This is our liquor cabinet, and here is Lauren's avatar. He's usually doing some kind of exercise. Some people bring these nice little chairs to fold up. There's my life jacket. So here's a view of our main kitchen area. So this is where we've been gathering around for meals, breakfast and dinner, that is. And there's our sawing station. A couple of people have a few portable saws that are collapsible. It's a Sven saw. Over here is another area for drying out clothes. And on this campsite, we have multiple areas for canoes to come up to. This rock has been really fun because near the water, we can go to the edge and actually go dive head first, so not super deep, but from this rock you can see there's a ridge that sinks right down into the dark abyss, and it's great for swimming because after about 10 feet out there, there's no bottom to be seen. Climbing up is usually through this ravine, and you have to be careful because it's a lot of algae. So you can see the nice shoreline here. We call this the patio. Oh, look, there's Mr. Pat enjoying an afternoon snack. All right, so the other thing I will show you is our tent area, and then I will show you the latrine. A lot of these places have nice little trails and ravines to go to the campsite areas. I forgot to mention the lounge is my hammock, which has been great for napping and reading. Sometimes if it's cold, I bring my sleeping bag in here and a warm jacket. And one nice thing is to just let your feet dry and be warm and dry and read or take a nap. So I'm taking you up to our second of two tent sites. Here's another overlook area here. You can still see the lake, and remember the other three tents you can see through the trees down there. So here's my tent. It's all closed up in case it got rainy today. And here's Lauren's tent over here. So he's got a nice spot over here. And you can see just beyond the tent sites, it's pretty dense with vegetation. Now, what if you have to use the latrine? I can show you what that looks like. Very typical of all the tent sites. I mean, campsites. Typical in that it takes a little while to walk back to the latrine. All right, so there's always a trail heading back away from the water, and it looks like this for this place. I'm gonna jog along. I don't know the regulation, but the latrines are always a certain minimum distance away from the lake. So here it is. This one is green. Usually they're round and gray. So we got all the features of a fancy restroom, toilet paper and hand sanitizer. So let's see, what else can I think of for things to mention for a typical campsite. Don't worry, this will be less than 10 minutes. I think I'll just jog back and have a final view of the lake. This has been a great trip. We've had, as I said, 9 people. We have Dave and John Hodap, John Carney, Bob, Gretchen, Mark, Pat, me, and Lauren. More view of the countryside here. We've been spending a lot of time fishing, preparing meals, swimming, exploring, more fishing. Yesterday we had a great walleye, 2 walleye, and cooked that up with coconut oil. Dinners have been fantastic. First night was curry rice with chicken from Pat. Last night Dave had steaks. We had walleye, green beans from his garden. And tonight I believe will be burritos from Bob. So that's our campsite tour, all in under 10 minutes. And signing out.